What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the NFL free agency edition of the BTR podcast.
All right, special episode. All NFL free agency signings from Monday and Tuesday. The legal tampering period. The new league year starts today, as is released on Wednesday, and we got some. Honestly, the free agent cooked more than regular season.
It did. It was definitely a lot of surprises, a lot of big money thrown out. The running backs have a market, but before we continue, let's get off with the main position as we did last time, the quarterback. But before we do that, make sure you guys like this video and subscribe for more content like this. All right, let's get right into it. Big money Kirk Cousins gets it done again.
Kirko Chains is headed to at the ATL. The Falcons have signed Kirk Cousins to a 4-year, $180 million contract. Kirko Chains is headed from Minnesota to Atlanta, and honestly, I'm expecting a Kyle Pitts breakout. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I expect Drake London to break out, and I expect Kyle Pitts to break out. Kirk still has the game in him, right? Is Kirk gonna lead you to a Super Bowl? No, he's not. But Kirk is one of those old quarterbacks that are good, aka Stafford, Rodgers. Kirk is, among that, talent, among that group. I'm not saying he's as good as Stafford
Oh, yeah, for sure.
but like he still has his game with him. Like Kirk, we'll just find out how much is it Jefferson, how much is it Kirk. Obviously, Jefferson played a part of it, but he has weapons, right? Atlanta, big move. They got their quarterback. They know what they're doing next year. There's no excuse for London and Pitts.
How much is it guaranteed?
I
Was it like
think
80?
I don't remember how much guarantee it was.
Because a lot of signings, I can't even pull it up right now. But yeah, either way, we know he's there for 4 years minimum. Apparently, the Broncos would have pursued him if his contract demands dropped. But am I surprised that he's a Falcon? No, because of the reporting. But yes, in terms of, I thought they would have went younger. But then the more I thought of it, the NFC South is trash, right? Your best team right now, it's probably them. But coming from last year, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who pretty much brought back the same guys for the most part, except traded their cornerback away. But so I'm like, okay, maybe they just want a veteran guy in who has been, he's been inconsistent in certain aspects, but for the most part, for the last couple of years, he's been consistent. You have Bijan in the backfield. Like you said, Drake London, Kyle Pitts hopefully has a breakout candidate. We'll get into the wide receivers properly later, but they added Darnell Mooney, and guess what? I was about to say Kirk Chains too, but
Kirk Chains.
Cousins.
Just say it,
Kirk
man.
Cousins is one of the best deep ball throwers as well, accuracy wise, and that's where Darnell Mooney excels at. And you already have Van Jefferson as well, who did that well with the Rams.
Is Kirk the best quarterback in his division?
That's what I was gonna have one of my questions with you.
Right. Like Bryce Young hasn't really shown out. He's a potential breakout candidate because Carolina made a couple good moves.
Yeah, but it's Carolina.
Bryce Young was terrible last year in his rookie year. Baker Mayfield again. Can he put a good season 2 years in a row? He did. He had good seasons in Cleveland his rookie year and then his third year, but he never had good seasons 2 years in a row. And the last guy is Derek Carr, coming off a bad year himself. Kirk got a similar contract to Derek Carr. Derek Carr was similar, big money, old guy. People wanted him. People believed in Derek Carr. People believe in Kirk.
But here's the thing.
But Kirk was actually pretty solid last year.
But he's coming off the Achilles.
So
we don't know if he's going to be starting the year for sure yet either, right?
But I would definitely rank it as of now Baker, Kirk, Carr, and Young.
But if you're telling me who's going to win the NFC South, I might be leaning Atlanta as a whole as a team.
Yeah, we'll see how Kirk is through training camp and if he could be the week 1 starter as well.
Yeah, like for me, it's like they had a decent O-line, right? They had a couple of
Matthews.
Their defense is insane. Like, it's pretty good. And guess who's their coach? It's Raheem Morris.
So it should be
like
better.
what Houston did essentially last year, in my opinion, at least. And then it all depends on Kirk's health, right? Yeah, like I think Atlanta might be the team to beat because last year they were there. If it wasn't for Ritter. Literally, Raheem Morris said that if it wasn't for the quarterback play, I would not be standing here right now.
That's true. Yeah, he did say that.
He literally said that. So pretty much he threw Desmond Ritter under the bus, or the coaching staff under the bus last year. But yeah, Kirk got his money. He gets it done once again. He did it in Washington. He did it in, I know he was drafted there, but his next contract, obviously got it in Minnesota. And once again, he got the big money in Atlanta.
Atlanta could be a potential breakout team. Breakout candidates for next year as well. Good young weapons, veteran quarterback who could get the job done.
The coaching I have more faith in.
Coaching, yeah, definitely have more faith in than Arthur Smith as well. And let's see if this new OC could utilize his weapons instead of Jonnu Smith all of last year.
Okay, sticking with Minnesota for a sec, right? Just keep it on topic. I told you.
Hey, if you were to tell me that Justin Fields' market would be this dry, I wouldn't have believed you. But if you tell me, but if we knew Justin Fields' market would be this dry, I would 100% agree to you that Sam Darnold will be a Minnesota Viking or have an opportunity in a QB competition to start next year as a week 1 starter.
And right now he is the starter because there's no one else there unless they draft one.
Yeah, I think right now they have Jaron Hall as their other.
Hall, I don't know if Josh Dobbs is under contract or not.
I don't think he is. Yeah.
Oh, no, he isn't because we were talking about him in the preview episode.
So right now it's Jaron Hall and Sam Darnold QB competition unless they draft they're able to snag a JJ McCarthy, or depending on if they get someone in round 2.
Sam Darnold got 1 year, $10 million. Like I said, he was under Kyle Shanahan, which is big. He's gonna be playing with Kevin O'Connell. He has Justin Jefferson, assuming all that drama. But I don't think he's leaving. But either way, he has Justin Jefferson. He has TJ Hawkinson, right? I don't know. The running back might need help. There's some.
They have
available.
Jones.
Oh yeah. Okay, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that in a sec too. Yeah.
He has Aaron Jones now. He's set up there.
Genuinely, there's no excuse for Sam Darnold. This is a genuine last chance. If he messes up this year, I know you're a believer in Darnold, but you have to.
This was gonna be the last year for me. Properly.
If he messes up this year with those weapons, you cannot say you believe in Sam Darnold anymore. Yeah. I'm sorry. So, yeah, Kevin O'Connell will be good. Yeah. All right. Kevin O'Connell would have been a coach of the year candidate if he made the playoffs with Joshua Dobbs or Nick Mullins, who was the other quarterback. I think he's on the roster.
Last year when Josh Dobbs just didn't know any teammates and he still won the game, right?
Exactly. So Kevin McConnell has magic. Yeah. Like Kyle Shanahan magic.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm rooting for Darnold. Like I said, I think in the past, I don't know how much he was failed by the Jets, in my opinion. He was failed by the Panthers, similar to how Mac Jones was failed by the Patriots. Now he had a year under Kyle Shanahan and see what he did with Brock Purdy. Kevin O'Connell is that guy, a good offensive mind as well. So we'll see how that goes.
Russell Wilson is our next quarterback on the move, going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. 1 year, $1.2 million.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting $40 million.
Russell Wilson is getting paid $39 million. 38 is coming from the Denver Broncos. Yeah. 1.2 is coming from the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to have a QB competition. Kenny Pickett versus Russell Wilson. Yeah. Who would you bet is going to be the week 1 starter?
Russell Wilson.
I would say that too. But it's going to be it's going to be cutthroat type of thing, right? Listen, if he messes up one game, Pickett's in there. If Pickett messes up one game, they're going to be switching back.
Pickett's lucky that he does not have Mac Hannon anymore. He did better as soon as Mac Hannon got fired, right? Now it's Arthur Smith is in. Let's see how much is it more Najee-esque, right? Like how it was in Tennessee for him with Derrick Henry. But I think it's Russell Wilson. Like, you're not bringing that guy in and he's not going to be your starter week 1. Listen, I understand his ego makes him in trouble, but you cannot deny he did not have an okay year last year.
He was okay, yeah.
Right, he was better than his first year in Denver, and last year he was fine. It's just his ego makes it look like he's terrible because of the stuff he says.
Like, he was terrible in year 1. He was relatively decent in middle of the pack last year. Yeah. So he is the better talent. He is the better quarterback. But we'll find out how he does in training camp, how he does in preseason as well. And Arthur Smith, honestly, as an OC, Arthur Smith has a good reputation, considering the job he did at Tannehill and Henry in Tennessee.
Yeah, so for me, it's like it's his job to lose. That's just my opinion, because Kenny Pickett wasn't that great last year. But 2 things. One, he doesn't have the weapons there like he did in Denver. That's number one issue. Number 2, it's not an issue, but is he going to be 500? Because Mike Tomlin is usually a 500 guy. But is it going to be one of those memes? It's like how Harry Kane went to the Bundesliga and the Bayern kept winning, and it's like, oh, this is where Harry Kane comes in. Oh, this is where Russell Wilson comes in. That meme. But that's one of the joke side of things. But yeah, no, I wonder how Arthur Smith's going to make it work, because he does not have the weapons there. Arthur Smith at least had Derrick Henry. I understand Najee. I'm not saying he's Derrick Henry, but he's
built like Derrick Henry.
Right there.
Like, he has a build.
But he had A.J. Brown before he got traded, right?
So we'll see. This is probably lining up for a Steelers drafting a wide receiver because they did trade Deontay Johnson away
Yeah.
as well. Other quick quarterbacks, Gardner Minshew is a Las Vegas Raider. Colts couldn't retain him because he got starting opportunity, starting quarterback money type thing.
It's Aiden O'Connell versus
Gardner
Gardner
Minshew.
Minshew. And let's see. If Minshew balls, great. If he doesn't, we know it was
Steichen, yeah. Other news, Jacoby Brissett is going to New England probably to mentor their new draft pick.
Nathan Rourke.
Hopefully Nathan Rourke.
No. I have topics about that later on.
And then last off, Jameis Winston will be the QB2 for the Cleveland Browns. Maybe 3 unless they bring back Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
As well. So that rounds out all the quarterback movement for the first 2 days.
There's more, but I'm going to tie it in slowly into this. I'm not going to get into details of the other guys. But, okay, we got to talk about the one name now. We have to. Justin Fields. Adam Schefter came out and reported the market is dry. You alluded to it earlier. It was the it was the Falcons. It was the Steelers. Both got their vets in a way, right? Then I saw Raiders were in talks. They ended up getting Gardner Minshew. I'm like, oh, maybe they get both. But then the reports are saying it's him versus Minshew versus Aiden O'Connell. Okay. Then it's like, okay, where's he going to go? So obviously I have some teams here, different types of scenarios. Nick Shook was on Halford and Bruff. Some of it is from him. But the obvious spot is still the Broncos because they're looking for someone. Like I said, they were after Kirk Cousins, but his contract demands were too high for them. And then, so yeah, I'm not going to go much into that. We talked about that last time. This is not going to happen, but Vikings make a lot of sense. But it's in division. I doubt they do an in-division trade unless it's something massive, right? So here are a couple of teams that I want to say. The first I thought in my head, Giants, but they brought in Drew Lock, and you already have Daniel Jones. So I think that's finished. I think that's finished, right? Is he? And then he's looking up to be a backup, right? So yeah. So Drew Lock was the only one mainly there. Marcus Mariota went to Washington. Maybe I thought he could compete with whoever they were going to pick, but even then that was tough because they had the second overall pick, right? So obviously that out of the way here. Option number 1, New England Patriots do not draft a QB. They draft Marvin Harrison Jr. This is from Nick Shook, so I completely took that from him.
Yeah.
And they reunite the Buckeyes.
I would believe that if the Patriots did not report that and the combine that we're trying to take a quarterback.
But let's just say that was a bluff.
But if it is a bluff, I think it's a solid move still. I think it's something you could I don't think you can get memed on if you do that.
Because you're not trading with a third overall pick for him.
Yeah.
And you're taking arguably the best player in the draft in Marvin Harrison Jr.
Exactly.
Right?
And you're providing help for Fields
right off
as well.
the bat, they have a connection. I think. I don't know how much he played with Justin Fields, to be honest. But maybe for half a year. I think it's a year, yeah. Yeah, but there's that's the one. And I'm like, wow, okay, I didn't think of it that way. That's actually smart, right? So that's option number 1. I'll lay out all of them. Option number 2, which is I think more realistic to me, if he is going to play a backup role, but maybe not, Seahawks.
Backup, yeah.
Geno didn't have the greatest year last year. Drew Lock was fine when he did play, but I think Justin Fields is better. You have weapons, right? DK Metcalf. You have Noah Fant back. You got Tyler Lockett, and then Jackson Smith and Jigba. I don't know how much he played with him. Again, a Buckeye reunion there. And then option number 3 for me were the Rams and the Saints. Jameis is gone. Saints need someone. Derek Carr did not play extremely well last year. The Rams, Stafford, again, last year he was healthy, but is he gonna be healthy again? Which is why that's your number 1 question mark. And who knows? There was always retirement talks coming out of this Rams locker rooms between their 3 top guys, and Sean McVay, Aaron Donald, and Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I see. The most fun option is definitely the New England one, the most out there. The most reasonable one is, I would say, Seattle or New Orleans. I would say Seattle a little bit more just because they'll probably be looking for a young quarterback.
Yeah.
Right? And I think Seattle's not in a position where they could take a quarterback, right? And Saints too, they're pretty far off, those top guys.
Better get at it because the more they wait, the more his value is going to drop.
Exactly, yeah.
Time,
but yeah, so Fields is probably the best quarterback to watch right now that is remaining in the offseason.
Do you have any other teams in the top of your head?
No.
You can play a strict backup role, just go somewhere.
Rest is just backup, right? There's nowhere else. Nothing else you could really do.
Because I still think he could play. We all know that.
Yeah.
He needs to be in the right offensive situation for him to be better at.
Exactly, yeah.
Because the Bears failed him.
All right, let's move on to the running backs. And a lot of movement happened here. Starting off with Saquon Barkley joining a division rival in the Philadelphia Eagles, 3-year, $37.75 million contract. Saquon Barkley obviously replaces DeAndre Swift and upgrade their running back game.
He's also the second highest paid running back after Christian McCaffrey and now ahead of Jonathan Taylor. So who said running backs don't have a market? So like my point was there may be like, okay, if you guys want to prove a hypothetical situation, I don't know how true this is. If you guys really think you guys have a market, go here. We're not going to tag you. Go find it for yourselves. When you're talented, you'll get it. Saquon got it, right? And he is a major upgrade. Now, he isn't going to the better O-line situation. Only difference is Jason Kelce retired. So how much? Obviously, they extended Landon Dickerson to a highest paid guard, right? So they still have good offensive line.
No, you have Lane Johnson, you have Mailata, you have Dickerson.
So it depends on how you're going to replace a legend in Jason Kelce, right? It's not going to be easy. But, yeah, so in this case, like, obviously I see a lot of backlash in terms of loyalty because the one theme of this is many players joined their division rivals.
Yeah, and the Saquon situation is Giants didn't offer him.
Reportedly did not offer him.
Yeah, so he's going to do where he's going to probably look for money. Philly offered him money. Philly's also a sick team. He got the best of both worlds.
And he could give you a middle finger to the Giants as well. So
exactly. Two times a year. Yeah. Exactly. At least 2 times a year.
Yeah, like Tiki Barker going insane. I'm like, bro.
That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Next up, one that shocked me.
Me too.
Joshua Jacobs. I don't know if his name is Joshua, but Josh Jacobs. 4-year, $48 million to the Packers. But Aaron Jones was not cut at this point.
Yeah, so before we'll get to the Aaron Jones story in a second.
So in the heat of the moment, I was just like, are they really going to have the best running back duo in the game? Because Aaron Jones gets injured quite a lot. Aaron Jones was incredible when he was healthy last year, but was out for like half the year. Josh Jacobs, they always have one guy on the field.
Yeah.
And then moments after Aaron Jones did get released, making Josh Jacobs running back one for the Packers.
Yeah, so when that move first happened, I'm like, okay, they don't have A.J. Dillon. And I instantly messaged my friend. I'm like, this is strange, right? And he got the money. He got the long-term money thing that he was
40 or 48
right?
Decent.
It's like probably top, I don't know where. I'm not going to say where he's ranked in it. But I'm like, okay, that's a little strange. But, and then obviously the report comes out. I'm like, okay, that makes much sense. I have my thoughts on Aaron Jones in a second. I'll get to that in a bit here. Yeah, I'm surprised he left the Raiders. I think Antonio Pierce liked the guy, from what I heard. You wanted that type of running back play when you have Gardner Minshew and either Aiden O'Connell or whoever else, if they decide to draft someone or whatever. Obviously, they need to find a running back. But yeah, the running backs, obviously, all of them moved. And
they all got decently
I think it's
paid.
a great fit with the type of running back he is paired with Jordan Love. And the question with Jordan Love is, can he continue this stretch into next year?
I think it's a good move in the sense of like you have a healthy running back.
Yeah.
Is he necessarily the more talented running back? We don't know.
I love it in the fact that like we did not predict
it was unpredictable.
The Packers to be in this.
Because Aaron Jones was incredible.
Yeah.
When he was on the field.
Exactly.
He was absolutely incredible.
But
so this is just purely that Josh Jacobs is healthy and he'll be more available. That's how I'm seeing this move. And Josh Jacobs is talented running back. But is he better than Aaron Jones? I don't know. I don't necessarily agree he's an upgrade in the sense of like, talent and production.
Is he younger? I think he's younger.
He is younger. He's like 25.
Yeah.
So
I do have an issue with the Aaron Jones situation though. They did him dirty. And I know it's the business. They signed up for this. I get it. Right? Because we're going to mention Mixon in a second. I thought Mixon was almost done dirty, but he got lucky, right? Aaron Jones was loyal to you guys on all those years. He could have joined the Cowboys if he wanted to, which I thought he was going to be a Cowboy, by the way. Aaron Jones ended up joining the Vikings, which I think it was partially because I want to play you guys 2 times a year as well, maybe. But, yeah, I think Aaron Jones got done dirty because he was not able to test the waters. For example, Houston could have probably wanted it before they got Mixon. Or the Chargers could have gotten him before they got Gus Edwards.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Aaron Jones over Gus Edwards, right? So in my opinion, he was done very dirty. He was not able to test the open market freely as much as the
exactly
have
because
done.
Like news like this, right? The reason why I instantly thought they're doing a running back duo is because they usually cut the player before they sign him, right? Even if it's like right before they're like, okay, Jones cut, Jacobs in. They'd still do that, right?
Yeah.
Not like, an hour or two later, oh, Jones is released. So, like, I was fully believing that, like, for a moment, that this is going to be a running back duo.
And I understand. Like I said, it's part of the business. He's an injury-prone guy. He's an aging running back. And we know what their lifespan, NFL lifespan is usually. But career span, I guess. But, yeah, no, I think for a guy that's been loyal to you guys, you need to give him better. Because we've seen, for example, the NHL, Kyle Poso got traded to the Florida Panthers. That's where he wanted to be, and Buffalo did right by him, right?
Yeah,
Matt Ryan got done right by at the time, when he got requested his trade, and he's like, "Where do you want to go? I want the Colts." Okay, boom. Well, let's get it done to the Colts.
Prime example right now, the Chiefs are actively looking for Snead where he could get paid and a place where he wants to go.
Yeah,
as well. Right, they could do him dirty still, but like they're trying to do good by him because he was their top cornerback in Super Bowl. But yeah, other running back news: Derrick Henry to the Baltimore Ravens, 2-year, $60 million contract. No need to comment too much because we were saying how much this was a perfect fit the whole time. Lamar's elusiveness, Derrick Henry's power back, very tough running game to stop. I don't think Lamar is gonna need to throw the ball. So $8 million per year, 2 years, $16 million.
Yeah, he's 30. Definitely lower end, but yeah, he's 30 though.
It's the age.
Yeah.
Quick news: Pollard is the Derrick Henry replacement for now. 3 years.
I don't know what the Titans are thinking.
3 years, $24 million to the Titans. Eckler is going to Washington.
That surprised me.
For 2 years, 11.3. Washington made some decent moves as well. Swift is going to the Bears.
Yeah. See, that's where if I was Aaron Jones, I wanted to go to Chicago.
Exactly.
And he was not able to test it freely, and that's where I'm annoyed with the Packers.
Yeah, but Swift again. Good year with the Eagles. Good pass catcher, I believe, as well. He could pass catch well. Yeah, he had a great year.
They just upgraded. That's all it was.
Yeah, they just upgraded with Saquon, obviously. Yeah. When you have Saquon, why not? But yeah, Chicago, I think, are going to have him and Khalil Herbert, I believe. Would be a good running back duo there. And then last one, our boy, Zachary Moss.
There's one more too, but.
Yeah. Our boy, Zachary Moss, replaces Joe Mixon.
Yeah, so.
And yeah, it'll be tough. It was going to be tough for us to retain him. Because if he got a starting opportunity, he was going to get it. So Zach Moss was a top 5 running back when he was
starting last
year.
And he missed a game.
Yeah.
Right? So, okay, very quickly, Gus Edwards is a Charger, right? But going back to the Mixon thing, Mixon was almost done dirty. I don't know how much of the legal aspect was an issue last year, but he was almost done dirty. But they ended up getting a 7th round for him, and he went to a spot where he obviously wanted to go. And they upgraded. Devin Singletary left, I think, for the Giants or wherever he went. And, but yeah, so, what's his name again?
Who are you talking about?
The guy who, Mixon.
Yeah,
Mixon. Yeah, and then he was one of the top backs the last couple of years with Joe Burrow. He's that with CJ Stroud now, so he was done right. That's what you call being loyal to your guy and sending him to the spot where he either wants to go or fits well with.
And yeah, he fits well there. I'm sure he wants to go to Houston just because Houston is one of the top free agent destinations this year due to CJ Stroud as well. But let's move on to wide receiver market. This is going to be very quick because not much news came apart from probably the biggest one.
We'll talk about the biggest ones
at the end because it's our boy.
No, not that one, but yeah.
Darnell Mooney is Pittman is the bigger one.
True.
Darnell Mooney is the number 2 wide receiver in Atlanta behind Drake London. 3-year, $39 million contract. Gabriel Davis is headed to Jacksonville for a 3-year, $39 million.
I have thoughts about that one.
I think they're still trying to bring back Calvin Ridley. So
Ridley wants to go back. That's what it is.
Yeah,
they are in talks.
They are in talks.
If
they execute Ridley back, then it's good. I like it. If they don't, he's not a Ridley replacement.
I still don't like it. I don't know.
Why not? Because Kirk, he's gonna be the number 3. Kirk is proven that he's a stud.
That, but you're paying him like he's a number 2 or a 1.
Well, 2 in this sense,
right.
Yeah.
So the reason why I don't like it is because, especially, I'm assuming Ridley ain't coming back. That's just me, right? I still think Ridley's a 1 in this league, right?
Or a 1 with support, not like a lonesome one. How Jefferson's a lonesome.
I feel like he could get there, right? He's still young enough for.
He's 30, bro. He's up there in age.
Never mind, he's not young enough. I thought he was younger than I thought. But
yeah.
I still think he's pretty good, right? If that's the case, okay, let's just assume that Ridley's gone. I don't know what Jacksonville's thinking.
Oh, then it's okay, that's a bad move.
Now we said
but if Ridley's there, they have a good weapons crew with Christian Kirk has proven that his contract is not an
Bad.
overpay.
Like, this could be the same thing. I could be totally wrong.
Gabe
Everybody
Dav-
thought Kirk was gonna be bad.
Gabe Davis is inconsistent.
Yeah,
100%
but
inconsistent.
it's a deep threat.
But when he's on his game, he's a stud.
He's a deep threat and you could block.
Yeah.
Right.
Calvin Ridley coming in, you have a good little trio there where you have a 1, and you have a guy right behind him in a 2 with Christian Kirk, and a guy right behind him with a Gabe Davis.
And then you have Evan Ingram as well.
And then you have Evan Ingram. But if you don't get Calvin Ridley back,
Yeah.
or you don't replace with a decent wide receiver, I think it's a downgrade in the sense of
This is like one of the deals. That
weapons.
I'm not.
It's going to be depending on what they do in either the draft or whatever wide receiver if they bring back Ridley in this range.
Yeah.
Deontay Johnson traded to Carolina for Dante Jackson, cornerback going to Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
wide receiver going to Carolina.
Bryce Young gets a weapon. Is Deontay Johnson a 1 in this league? I don't know, but it's probably his best target he had. As good as Adam Thielen did for him last year, but that's Adam Thielen. He's aging. He's more of a slot guy, anyways. So we'll see how this goes. But yeah, he was looking. They're shedding some salaries, but this shows that either Pittsburgh's probably drafting someone.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh's lining up for drafting a wide receiver.
I don't have faith in Pickens by himself. He, as good as he is, he's
Like they
like
have
a moody guy.
bro. They have good tight ends. They have Pat
Yeah.
Freiermuth, right? He's a stud.
Yeah.
They're gonna pair out Pickens. It's a draft for Pittsburgh. We'll talk about our boy right now. Michael Pittman Jr. signed an extension, $23 million around there per year for the next 3 years. I think he's playing on the tag, and then he's playing those 3 years. I'm not 100% sure, but we got our boy back. I think it's a fair contract. I was scared he was gonna get like 25, 26 initially, but when I saw 23, I was like, okay, that's pretty fair.
Listen, Indy do well with their guys. We're gonna talk about the Colts later as a whole because they literally re-signed everyone except one guy essentially at this point, right? And yeah, he's proven last year that he can be a 1. I'm not sold as in like he's the 1.
He knew pair him one.
Like paired 1, but that's fair to say. But if he's a D1, that means 25 and above, right? Then I would be like, 23. This is the market, right? What the tag was 21.
Tag was 21,
right?
yeah.
So it's right there. The cap's gonna go up in a couple of years, especially if Taylor Swift is involved some way or another. So yeah, like I'm fine with it. He proved it last year. He got 100 receptions. He missed some time. Yes, a lot of that was with Gardner Minshew, but he did have some chemistry with Anthony Richardson. He has some help with Josh Downs with the slot side of things, and he has a deep threat, tough playmate catcher who's similar to him in a sense in Alec Pierce. I think the Colts are missing a speed demon. Maybe they address that in the draft. I don't know. But yeah, otherwise fair contract. Love it. Nothing much to say about this.
To me, it's looking like Colts are probably heading an offensive weapon in the draft, whether it be Bowers or any wide receiver.
Yeah.
And I think they still have money left. One huge splash they can make is probably on the secondary side. But let's talk about the man who requested a trade.
So T. Higgins, and we're gonna have like 2 separate conversations, quick ones though. T. Higgins requested a trade after being tagged. I don't think he got exclusively tagged. I think like whatever that transition tag.
Yeah.
I think it's an actual tag. Reports are he still wants to stay, but the problem is there is no talks about an extension on the Bengals side of things. He's growing frustrated because of that. On the Bengals side of things, Jamar Chase is a factor, right? And Justin Jefferson reportedly turned down $30 million at the beginning of the year. We all know Justin Jefferson is probably going to sign 30-something million, and Jamar Chase will sign $100K or $1 million more to reset the market, right? So how much of this, in your opinion, this is part 1 of the conversation, is it he's just requesting a trade to put pressure on them to like, hey, let's talk extension, I want to stay. And obviously he's got a comp, right? Yes, he's not the D1 like Pittman was, but I still think they're comparable players, right? I think if you were to swap the two, it would be similar-esque. That's just my opinion. Obviously, it's not a fair conversation to have because of the situations are different.
They both got drafted in the same range as well.
Yeah, like he was the first wide receiver off the board in the second round.
Okay, it's simple as this, right? He wants the Bengals. The Bengals are waiting for Jamar Chase. He's in a sticky situation.
I don't think it's just about the Bengals.
Yeah, no, but he's in a sticky situation where like we're gonna pay you, but we got a better guy waiting to get paid next offseason. So we're not going to waste all our money on you when we don't want to let him walk.
Yeah.
We'd rather let you walk. So they're in a
Well, not
situation.
walk, they actually tagged him, so they want him.
Oh yeah, in a sense, of like we're not prioritizing you.
Yeah.
Right. Chase is the priority, and they're doing 100% right by that.
Do you like the Pittman comp though, for him?
Like as a money wise,
Yeah, like
I think he's played like that. I think 20 to 23 mil is a good range for Higgins.
yeah,
In the
Well,
sense,
definitely more
I
than
think
21.
a fair range.
yeah,
Obviously 21 to 23.
yeah.
Anything over that, I don't think it's worth it for the Bengals.
Okay, so let's talk about the potential spots. If he gets, I don't think he gets traded because we've seen Jonathan Taylor do the exact same thing. We saw Lamar Jackson do the exact same thing. I think it's more of a pressure move to get something done, and that's just because he's probably like, okay, even if it's for 3 years like Pittman, I just want to know if I'm in Cincinnati or not, right? But let's just say he does get traded. I have a list of teams once again here. Within the division, we know it's not going to happen in Pittsburgh and Baltimore because Baltimore doesn't have OBJ right now at the moment. But those are two perfect spots for him. The most perfect spot, Tennessee Titans, because of Callahan.
Yeah.
Remember that was like
that's
initially
fair.
that was like the initial rumored spot for him, anyways.
Yeah, Titans definitely make sense.
No,
I feel like I'm gonna guess one right now. Carolina. As
I
well.
did have him on this, but then I'm like, I don't know how much the Deontay Johnson factor changes it.
Yeah, that's
That's the
true too.
only
Yeah.
issue. Number two, assuming they get quarterback, the flip of the field side of things, the New England Patriots, they need a one.
They're also actively looking for a wide receiver. I think they were heavily linked to Ridley as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it makes sense. If they don't get Ridley, it could be a guy they want to trade for.
Number three, for me, the New York Giants.
Again, yeah, they're a destination
They're-
that never really has a good wide receiver in the last few years.
Kenny Galladay shot the bed for them. Their defense is insane even more. We'll talk about the defensive side soon. But that's the Giants. And number four, they need a one. It's the Kansas City Chiefs.
Patrick Mahomes restructured his contract, freeing up $22 million
He did that recently? Or
today.
oh, I didn't see that then.
Around that, right? So if that's around T. Higgins' worth, it could be a move that the Chiefs are willing to do. But in the sense, like, they might free it up for Legarius Need, or they might just go a little bit cheaper in wide receiver.
I think they need a wide receiver, right? So
I'm
maybe that's probably. I'm not saying it's for him. It could be Ridley for all.
It could
we
be
know.
Ridley, yeah.
But they need an actual one, wide receiver one to be exact. And
Or like-
T. Higgins fits that mold for that team. He fits that wide receiver one
Like,
perfectly.
Yeah, wide receiver one in the sense of you don't need to be Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Like, you just need
They
to be,
might draft Xavier Worthy for that.
yeah, you just need to be like, I'm talking about level in general.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
talking
but
about
I'm
like
saying in
play
gen-
style.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Like as a level, like Tyreek Hill was a one,
Yeah.
like bona fide one in this league. T. Higgins is not a bona fide one, but when you're on the Chiefs,
He's an upgrade of what they had last year, and they won the Super Bowl.
when you're on the Chiefs and you have Patrick Mahomes,
Yeah.
he's gonna make you look like a one.
Exactly. So, and he's proven he's a tough play catcher, ball catcher. I mean,
He's a solid player.
Yeah.
He is a solid player.
so I think that's the one that makes the most sense to me. Is there any other team you could think of?
Not really off the top of my head. I'm trying to look at teams that have space as well. I don't think the Bears are gonna do it. Obviously Indy's not gonna do it. So
NFC side.
Houston said they're not gonna do it. If they didn't want to go after Mike Evans, I don't see them going after T. Higgins.
But that's a spot too.
Yeah.
You're right. But yeah, that's where my thing is with the Higgins. So,
Yeah, no, he's in a sticky situation.
do you think he stays more likely or he's gone?
I think he's gonna be on the tag. I think he's gonna be on the tag this
But he
year.
has to sign it too. Otherwise,
Yeah.
he can't play. So I guess.
Then that's on him then.
All right. What else you got?
Offensive lineman, we'll quickly go through it. Mike Onwenu re-signs with the New England Patriots. I would say he was the best tackle available in this class. Center Tyler Biadasz is going to the Commanders, a decent O-line upgrade for them as well. Here are some big ones. The LA Rams signed 2 guards. Kevin Dotson, I think that's a re-sign, I believe, and Jonah Jackson from the Detroit Lions. And if there's a Detroit Lions O-line free agent, starter or not starter, just go after him. LA
Well,
Rams
starter
did
for
that.
sure.
Yeah. So they've upgraded the line a little bit to help keep Stafford upright. Carolina added Robert Hunt, 5 years,
Yeah, I
$100
saw
million. I would say he was the best guard available in this free agent class. They also added Damian Lewis as another guard, 4-year, $53 million. And the Giants added John Runyon for 3 years, $30 million. That's your quick O-line rundown for like the big O-lineman that signed. But let's move on to interior D-line, D-tackle more specifically, because you could split up edge rush and D-tackle in this sense. Christian Wilkins is headed to the Vegas Raiders for 4 year, $110 million. I'm not sure how much is guaranteed. Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins is going to be a scary duo for that division.
Yeah, it's like that rookie year of Nick Bosa with DeForest Buckner,
Essentially, yeah.
right? It's like whoever that's the one immediately that comes to my
Like a D
in my
and
head.
the tackle comparison, yeah.
Von Miller and Aaron Donald,
Obviously.
right? So yeah, they're gonna be fun, but it's the Raiders. So obviously, I'm not confident on their offensive side right now. I still think Adams
But
needs to be traded.
defensively-
but defensively, they're gonna be solid.
They're nice, yeah.
At least in terms of the trenches, they're always solid.
Oh, yeah, because Crosby just takes over games
Yeah.
by himself. Crosby doesn't miss a snap,
Exactly.
right? Like, Crosby is that guy, and then you add in a Christian Wilkins, who is considered a top 10 D tackle in this league.
Yeah.
Another D tackle that was signed, Leonard Williams re-signed with the Seattle Seahawks, 3 years, $64.5 million. And our boy, run stopper Grover Stewart, is coming back to Indy with 3 years, $39 million contract. And excited to see Grover back. Number one run stopper in Indy. We saw him be out for 6 games. I think a PED suspension. And we saw our run defense really go down without him. So Grover's back is a big big re-sign for the Colts.
Let's talk about Brian Burns and how stupid the Carolina Panthers are.
Exactly.
Right? So the New York Giants upgraded heavily defensively by getting Brian Burns, paired him with Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence,
That's
right?
a 3-headed monster on the D-line.
And they gave up a second and a fifth, which is what they kind of received from Seattle last year in the deadline, right? During the season. And they obviously extended him. I forget what the contract was. I don't know if you have the information. I'll pull it
I
up
think
in
it's
a
5 years, $150 million.
Yeah.
Don't remember how much is
second.
guaranteed.
It was a lot.
It's a big
But
deal.
so obviously, defensively, I have no issues with the Giants. I have more issues with them again on the offensive side of things before I make my bold predictions again. But Carolina reportedly rejected 2 first-rounders for him last year or the year before, or whatever it was.
Yeah, no, they're a stupidly run franchise,
Yeah,
right?
you're right. 5 years, 150.
So, it's like even they have a new GM, right? They got a new GM. I think
Yeah,
I'm
probably.
pretty sure they got a new GM, and he did not start off good, to the point that Luke Combs, I think he's one celebrity fan, never really comments about the Carolina Panthers until now.
Yeah,
He's feeling the torture because McCaffrey did not go for a first, and McCaffrey is the only running back that's actually worth a first.
yeah,
Brian Burns, at the edge rush position, at his level, I'm really surprised. Like, the Giants fleeced. This is one of the fleeces of the NFL ever, I would say.
yeah.
Because Brian Burns is really good. Is really, really, really good.
Yeah, Carolina, I don't know what else to say. Tepper made a stamp, and he's been pretty bad at it. So we'll see what happens with that. Danielle Hunter was between Indy and the Houston Texans. I think Houston was more serious with it. Ended up getting it done. 2 years, $29 million. Sorry,
$49 million.
$49 million. It could go up to 51, and 48 of it is guaranteed. Essentially,
Yeah.
all of it is guaranteed.
So essentially, he's making $24 million per year.
Patrick Queen.
But yeah, no, quick comment on Hunter.
Okay,
Career year in sacks, 16.5, one of the
Yeah.
league leaders. Him and Will Anderson Jr. might be, I think they formed a top 10 duo in edge rush duos, I would say, going into next
without
year.
any research, I won't be surprised.
I'm
if
not saying they're like the best or anything,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I think they're a top 10 group.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like a duo as for edge rush duos. Quick finish on edges. Jonathan Grenard signed with Minnesota.
Yeah, so that's the
That's
replacement for Houston.
Hunter. They just replace each other,
Yeah.
essentially. Hunter and Grenard. Bryce Huff is going to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep.
Big news here is that it looks like Hassan Reddick or Josh Sweat will be on the move. So Huff will replace one of those. So
Okay.
that's the rumor right there.
So Patrick Queen was the best linebacker available, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
And he's staying in the division, jumping ship to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, 3 years, 41. 3 year, $41 million.
That defense is just got even better.
Yeah,
Minka,
Minka. Joey Porter Jr. looked really good in his rookie year. You add in Patrick Queen. You already have Highsmith, Cam Hayward, and you have Highsmith and Watt as your edge rushers.
yeah,
And you have Hayward running the D tackle.
yeah. So
Right, yeah. So That defense is always going to be good. Their question marks are always on offense, but defensively there's no worries with Pittsburgh usually.
Yeah, and let's hit the secondary, which is the one that was a lot of, unless you have other names.
Yeah, quickly, Frankie Louvu signs with Washington.
Yeah.
I think he was a Carolina linebacker last year. I'm not sure, but I think he's a decent player. And then Jordan Brooks from Seattle, who had probably a couple of years ago he had a really good year.
Yeah.
Not so much last year. He signed with Miami because they released Jerome Baker earlier on, as well. Cornerback wise, Chidobe Awuzie is a tight end. I didn't see the dollar amount, but I know it's a 3-year deal.
Average.
So 3 years, $12 million per year.
Total guarantee 22.9.
I think when you're in the sense of the open market, Chidobe Awuzie I think is the best free agent. Obviously barring Snead, who could be in trade talks because he's technically not a free agent because he's tagged. But yeah, Tennessee added another cornerback. I don't know how Tennessee made added some vets.
Yeah.
As well. Jeff Okudah, 1 year, $4.75 million to Houston. Pretty decent in Atlanta last year.
Yeah.
Little bit of a resurrection for Atlanta, and he's gonna be paired up with probably Derek Stingley and Casey Hayward. I think I'm not sure who the other one is.
Nico Autry stays in the division again, and just needs Jacksonville off his list because he joined the Texans as well.
And then the
safety market.
We're missing the last cornerback, our boy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Kenny Moore is now the highest paid slot cornerback. I believe it's around
$310.
$10 million. Yeah, $10 million per year. He stays with the Colts again. Colts re-signed Stewart, Moore, and Pittman. The only one that's Rigoberto Sanchez as well, their punter. And the only one that's odd man out right now is Julian Backman, their safety, who did unfollow him. So who knows what happens with him. Yeah, safety market. Go ahead. Start off with the big boys.
Xavier McKinney got paid. 4 years, $68 million total, 17 per year. Total guaranteed of that is $25 million. Total guaranteed is $25 million, which is kind of weird. But
that's a big drop.
I'm not sure how. I'm just reading it off Spot Track. But yeah, he's the youngest one of the better ones. Green Bay upgraded heavily. If Jair stays, him and Jair in the backfield.
Secondary.
In the secondary. Yeah.
Yeah, adding on to more safety moves. CJ Gardner-Johnson is reunited with the Eagles. 3-year, $33 million contract. And honestly, if I'm the Eagles, this is just perfect, right?
Yeah.
Because he just...
Big loss for Detroit.
Big loss for Detroit. Big addition for Eagles. But it was a big loss for the Eagles when he did sign for Detroit a year ago. So CJ Gardner-Johnson is back there. And speaking of another in-division move, Geno Stone, who was the backup safety behind Hamilton and Marcus Williams for Baltimore, is headed to Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, so that pretty much, those are the big names, right?
I would say those are the biggest ones, yeah.
So players that are available at the moment, defensively, you still have Justin Simmons, you have Emmanuel Ogbah, you have Budda Baker. Those are some of the big ones remaining. Quandre Diggs, Stephon Gilmore, I don't mind a reunion there. So, yeah, those are some of the ones. I'll look at it properly. Offensively, we still have Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, I'll say Ridley is
all the running backs are gone now, right?
Essentially, yeah. Yeah,
so it's like Calvin Ridley, maybe some tackles. We'll see what happens with T. Higgins. Any extensions potentially. Quarterback-wise, all the good ones are gone.
Yeah.
Were available. I think Joe Flacco is the only intriguing one to see where he's going to end up because it's not the Browns anymore. Oh, Chase Young. Expected visits with the Panthers, Titans, and the Saints. So, yeah, so those are some of the players that are available. We'll see what happens, our next pod that literally comes out the next day. We'll update you guys on that. But before we close it out, early winners and losers. Let's start off with the loser. It's the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I did not hear the name once at all.
Which is crazy because you have Jerry Jones.
Lost the running back, did not really address it. I think Deuce Vaughn, the rookie from last year, is their RB1 at the moment. Offensively, they're still looking the same. They lost their center as well. So it looks like there's going to be a draft. They got to have a good draft in order to, repeat the regular season success.
Yeah.
Right? Emphasis on regular season from last year.
Another loser, New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, they're also in cap hell, but they found a way to they got Willie Gay Jr.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's a
but
good signing. Him and Demario Davis will run the linebackers. If they add Chase Young, they got him and Cam Jordan as well.
Aren't you supposed to cut people though to make your cap work? And then almost all the top.
I think they restructured Derek Carr, I believe, or something.
Yeah,
They
but they were
restructured.
talking about cutting Thomas.
Yeah, they didn't do that yet, right?
No,
They're planning on
from
doing
what
that.
I've seen, he didn't do that.
They're
yet.
definitely planning on doing that.
Yeah.
Essentially, like I won't say they're a loser. They're definitely not the Cowboy. I think they're just a neutral, just because there's still talent there, right? You extended Matthew. Matthew's, yes, he's old, but he's a good player.
Yeah.
Lattimore's still there. Like secondary wise, you seem fine. Linebacker wise, you seem fine. D line wise, I think you're still fine, especially when you have Cam Jordan. Offensively, you have Derek Carr, hoping for a bounce back. Chris Olave proved he was a stud last year. He broke out pretty well. He was the number one guy. And then after that, weapons-wise, obviously Alvin Kamara was probably your other weapon, and then they could probably use another weapon. And O-line help potentially as well.
All right, let's flip it to the winners now. There are multiple. I think you have Green
I
Bay.
think a loser could be Buffalo, just because
Yeah, I was thinking Buffalo.
just because
they haven't addressed much.
they got rid of everyone.
And they don't have a wide receiver 2 anymore. That I mean, yeah, Gabe Davis is fine, but like, at least he's Gabe Davis, right? So
Yeah, I think that, like Khalil Shakir will probably step in that.
they're
as
drafting
well.
one.
They're definitely drafting one, but they don't have both their safeties. They have Taylor Rapp. They extended him.
Yeah.
Tre'Davious White is gone, so your number one cornerback at the moment is Rasul Douglas, who's good, but I don't think he is a CB1,
Yeah.
like a shutdown corner, like how we've seen, like how Tre'Davious White was,
Yeah.
essentially.
So winner for me, I'm gonna go with the Atlanta Falcons. Not a great division. Yes, the quarterback thing, it's best. You got the best one available through free agency. Maybe outside of Baker, you got one of the two. And weak division, you're gonna go for it. You have the young studs. You got a good coaching staff, in my opinion, at the moment. So I think they're a winner because they obviously addressed. They added who else? They added Darnell Mooney as well. So another receiver option. Did they add someone defensively? I thought they did.
No, not really. I
No.
don't think
Okay.
they-
So either way, they were fine. They're a good team. They could easily win that division next.
I believe the Atlanta Falcons will draft an edge.
It's Dallas Turner.
Dallas Turner, a Latu from UCLA, I believe. I think that Atlanta Falcons are going for
Yeah.
D line because Calais Campbell is gone as well, and then Grady Jarrett's up there in age.
Yeah.
So other than that sense, they have AJ Terrell, you have Jesse Bates, decent secondary. Linebacker wise, they're okay. I think they could use some D line help for sure. For me, winner, I think Green Bay and Houston are gonna be, like, I won't say they're my big winners, but I'll consider them as winners in the sense of Green Bay added one of the best safeties in the market. You added a healthier running back who could give you the same production as Aaron Jones. We'll have to wait and see for that. Your wide receivers are young. You just gotta hope Watson stays healthy. Christian Watson. O-line is young and good. They got rid of Bakhtiari as well. They released him. We'll see what Jordan Love does, and then depending on what you do defensively, I think Joe Brady did get fired. I think that's. Did he get fired?
Joe Brady.
No. What's this guy's name?
Joe Brady's in Buffalo.
No, their defensive coordinator.
Oh yeah, I know
remember?
who you're talking about. But yeah.
I forgot his name. But yeah, he's bad. So I'm pretty sure they fired him.
Yeah.
So that's already
Yeah,
a
they
win
did.
itself.
Green Bay. Yeah.
That's already a win himself. I just blanked out. I forgot his name.
Hey, just talk.
Yeah, in the Houston sense, you added Daniil Hunter, the best pass rusher next to Brian Burns in this free agent class. Pair him up with Will Anderson Jr. You added Jeff Okudah, who had a good year last year with Atlanta. Not necessarily his third overall pick status, but a good year. And they didn't address anything really offensively. They're bringing back the same offense. I don't like, honestly, if it wasn't broke, so why would you fix it really? Because all you need is CJ Stroud to be balling, and I believe CJ Stroud will be balling.
Oh, they Barry.
Yeah, Barry.
Joe Barry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was. So yeah, that was a dub itself. If they did fire him, right? I believe they did.
Did they fire him? They got
Yeah.
a guy from I think UCLA or wherever it was. But
Yeah, so those are my small winners there.
yeah, so we'll keep an eye on it. There's obviously draft coming up. We'll see some trade compensation.
We want to wrap it up with our squad quickly as well.
Sure.
Indy, how do you feel about Indy so far?
I mean, they handle the business they're supposed to, so I'm not worried about that. I still want, I don't know. I would love to have a good veteran guy for receiver, but I know that's probably not going to happen. Pittman has emerged in that, so I'd rather go get a Justin Simmons for a couple of years or whoever, and whoever's going to be available. They added a backup nose tackle for Grover, which is a proper one, right? They're obviously banking on the D line to do
The same thing
the
as
same
last
thing
year.
last year, and I could see a Quiddy Pay or a Dengbo
Emerge.
even more. Buckner, are they going to extend him or not? Let's see what happens with that. He's one more year remaining. Offensively, I still think we need another weapon. I'm not sure who they're going to draft. We'll see.
It could be a Brian Thomas, a Brock Bowers. Obviously, all these mock drafts
Yeah, so
are like that. For me, I'll give you 4 positions. I'll rank them of ones I want. Number 1, cornerback. Number 2, offensive weapon. Doesn't matter if it's a tight end, like a stud tight end or wide receiver. Preferably a wide receiver. Number 3, safety. Number 4, D end.
what are your thoughts on the backup QB then?
And then obviously backup QB as well.
Do you have faith in Sam Ellinger? He's been
Yeah.
there for years now.
I do have faith in Sam Ellinger.
Yeah.
I honestly like
Steichen's there.
Steichen's there. I think Sam Ellinger could be a solid backup. And there's no one really available right at the moment. Like, would you rather have a Josh Dobbs as your backup or a Sam Ellinger?
Sam Ellinger.
I would probably say Sam Ellinger as well. RB2 is also a need as well, so it could be someone
Well, we have Evan
internal.
Hall coming in. So we'll
But yeah, I'm
see.
talking about like the 4 big ones. Those are my 4 big ones.
Yeah.
Right? I personally believe that you get a Snead done. If you can't get a Snead done, get Simmons. You're getting one or the other. You're not getting both. So if you get a Snead, get Quandre Diggs or re-sign Julian Blackmon. I think that's a heavy upgrade already. And if it's the other way around, if you pay Simmons, I think they're gonna be drafting a cornerback.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. But we'll wrap it there. We have another podcast episode dropping tomorrow. So we'll probably talk more other sports unless something crazy happens at the NFL. But that's pretty much all the big names. It was a crazy weekend or a week for big name free agents. All the surprises we got. So one of the better off seasons to start. But outside of that, make sure you guys like this video. Comment your thoughts down below. What your favorite team did or did not do. Your winners or losers. I'll drop a poll. Make sure you guys check that out. Subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 500. We're literally 50 away. Please help us out with that. More content will be coming out soon. Yeah, other than that, we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.